So we are live, man. Hey guys, what's up? This is Max from thatbloggingthing.com, and I have my special guest here, John Newton, who is a co-founder of Team in the Black, which is the group that we're all a part of. And I started this really cool just video interview format just really a couple days ago, and I found that it's a great way to have my teammates and the people that I admire and inspire me as well, and that I work with on a pretty regular basis, share their story and basically connect better, than just a couple, Facebook posts or little things like this. So I just want to say welcome, John Newton. Welcome to thatbloggingthing.com, the official interview, the official John Newton interview. So I got to ask, man, and this is really how I like to start this off. So who is John Newton?
Cool, Max. Hey, thanks for having me. I think this is a great format too. So, and you know what's nice about this is you see a lot of people doing podcasts on this very thing, but to me, it's much nicer to be able to interact with people, directly, face to face. So that's a cool deal. So who am I? So I've been an entrepreneur for about 20 years, and that's been very satisfying to me personally. But kind of going back further, let's just talk about who I am, where I came from. I grew up in a family of 6 kids, and so we had a lot of competition with our kids, a lot of fun. Our parents made it really fun. We had, I grew up in kind of a middle class, upper middle class type environment, not not poor by any means, but we didn't have tons of resources either. But our parents provided for us, and I'm very grateful for that. But I grew up loving sports, so my parents got us involved in sports at a very young age. I played football, basketball, and baseball at a very young age, and continued that really through high school. Even played some college football. So, and I think that's important for a lot of people because that got us involved in not only a team environment but in a competitive environment as well. So when you do that, you learn how to compete and what achievement looks like at a very young age. I got out of college, so this is really bizarre. I went to college, went to the University of Colorado, got out of college, and couldn't find a job. This was essentially 1980, right in the depth of a very severe recession at that point. So I ended up getting a management recruiting job with
Right.
with an electrical supply company, earning, I think my starting salary was $9,800 a year. Management recruiting, and so that's I think back to those days, and it's just bizarre to think that people could actually survive on that. And but from the very day that I started, I hated that job. I hated it, and and here's the thing, and this is kind of what I go back to, is that I think from the very first day I started working for somebody, I knew that I didn't want to work for anybody but me. That
Right.
was just kind of a burning basic desire that I had, but it took a while, So I basically stayed in that industry for, I don't know what it was, maybe 7 years, and just felt like I had to get out of that business into something high tech. And so I really focused on basically getting into something that was much higher technology, much more progressive, and eventually I found myself getting into the long distance business. So I got into the long distance business right after divestiture, right when long distance was kind of a big deal to a lot of people, and did very, very well at that. But you know what? That's where I learned to sell, because the company that I went to work for, it was 100% commissions.
Yep.
100%. In fact, we had to pay for any travel. It was 100% all the way. had to pay for our own travel, had to pay for our own expenses, and
I'm very
I'll tell
familiar.
you what, you learn a lot about yourself when you're in that kind of situation because you got to go door to door, you got to sell people on features, benefits, and you. And ultimately, I was successful, I think, because a lot of people bought from me. You know, and I wasn't selling for somebody like MCI or anybody like that, AT&T. I was selling for just a smaller regional carrier. So, naturally, people are going, well, why are you better than AT&T? So, I had to tell them the story, but ultimately they trusted me, and that's why they bought from me. And
Right.
I'm pretty proud of that because, even to this day, um, every once in a while I'll run into the CEO of that company, kind of talk to him, and he always tells me that I had the highest retention rate of anybody in the company, which is really satisfying because
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's years after the fact. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's a pretty cool deal. So um, kind of transitioned. I got into a data communications company in the early 1990s, and then in 1995 I broke free and just decided to start a company with a couple of other business partners. And what we did was we saw a niche. Um, it was a very unique niche, something that a lot of people weren't satisfying, but it was a niche that a lot of uh, tier one and tier two long distance carriers really needed. They needed help with international termination
Okay.
routes. And that was kind of an uncharted frontier for a lot of people. And so we got into that business, but man, it was scary because um, we had just our own resources. There was no blueprint for success. We just had to make it happen.
You guys had to write your own
So
blueprint,
it took
basically.
about 6 to 8 months for us to really make something happen. And here's the irony, and this is kind of one of the messages I think for a lot of people who want to get into business on their own. Um, One of the partners that started the company, he gave up. He basically, 2 months away from us having, I mean, massive breakthrough. 2 months from us having a massive breakthrough, he decided that he just had no confidence that it was going to happen and had to protect the interest of his family and went out and got a job with somebody else.
Oh.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah, no,
From a certain perspective, people
yeah.
got to take care of your family. But man, I mean, 2 months. All he had to do was hang in there for 60 more days, and we had a monster breakthrough. Monster. And we never looked back from then.
Right.
So my other partner and I did really well with that business for 5 years or so, and we got out of that business in the early 2000s. The telecom industry was changing rapidly at that point, and so luckily we were able to get out of that hole. We weren't left holding the bag with a lot of long distance carriers that got themselves into trouble at that point, and so that was very satisfying, and made just a ton of money. I mean, I live in a super nice house today because of that um, effort, and that taught me a lot about persistence, achievement. Again, building on my ability to connect with people and help them accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. We had a lot of very loyal customers who loved us because we provided a ton of value
Right.
to what they were trying to accomplish. So that was a lot of fun, and basically since the early 2000s, I've kind of bounced around, continuing to do some telecommunications consulting. Um, I've started a real estate development company with my wife and my son, one of my kids. We started a chocolate company. My wife and I
Nice.
started a chocolate company, which is really different, but had kind of a unique twist on packaging, and so That's been, moderately successful. We've had some good successes and some not so good successes. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. But when the economy changed in 2009, that's when our life changed significantly because what happened was my wife has a real estate consulting business, and of course,
Real estate tanked.
commercial real estate,
Yeah.
commercial real estate especially, just changed drastically. Everything changed drastically. From 2009, basically 2011, we had a very, very, very difficult year. It was significantly difficult, and that's that. It was at that point that I just decided that something has to change in what I was doing because what we had been doing just wasn't cutting it, and we were struggling with how the economy was changing. And so I started kind of thinking about what I like to do, what people found from me as far as value, and what I thought I was capable of. And so basically what I did was I just decided that a lot of people liked me. They liked doing business with me because I could help them, because they trusted in me. I liked helping people.
Right.
Ultimately, that's really what it was all about. And so I took a step back and said, okay, what businesses are there out there that could utilize that kind of capability? And so basically, I stumbled upon the network marketing business. Essentially, I'd never even heard. I kind of knew what network marketing was, but never really looked at it extensively. And but you know what? That was a business where people did business with people, and people needed a lot of help, and that was the attraction for me. So I began, a lot of research. I started reading some books, doing some research on companies, and what I wanted to do was kind of build on my technology background, but utilize that capability of helping other people. And so, by total chance, and this is the beauty of our business, the business that you and I are in today,
Right.
is that by pure internet marketing magic, I stumbled upon a link, and the link came to me because I had already been doing research on multiple companies, and I pulled up information on this one company, Empower Network, that had blogging, and it was technology oriented, and so it kind of fit into the things that I was that I was interested in doing, but I hadn't decided yet completely. But
Right.
I kept seeing these doing in my searches. These guys kept following me around. These two dudes, Dave Sharp and Dave Wood. They kept following me around, going, how are these guys always in my searches? And so that was the beginning of my actually love of technology in this internet marketing business, because all of a sudden it kind of filled a need that I had for my love of technology, but also my need for in my desire to want to help people achieve things in their life too. So that's kind of where I'm at today, and just by coincidence, of course, you and I kind of stumbled upon one another through sheer coincidence.
Internet,
Getting involved in other deals, and so that's kind of where we're at. So that's the long dime tour of my life journey to this point. So yeah,
That's
been
awesome. It's
a lot
funny,
of fun.
like I've heard the brief version of the story, but I've never actually heard the whole, like, how it all happened
Yeah,
kind of story. So that's pretty awesome in and of itself, because I know, like, I come from a similar kind of background, and just the need and the want to transition into a full time, like, online kind of work from home space was definitely there. And Yeah, I mean, same kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like you see, you find what you're looking for when you put it out there, in the universe, and just the way you just kind of get back what you're looking for, and it's weird. I never really questioned how it works, because it always happens to like just happen at the right place for the right time or the right moment, when things kind of drop into your life. But yeah, it's yeah. I think our whole team, I think In the Black has a pretty interesting story in and of itself.
Yeah, well, and you know what? And here's the thing, and this is a message for a lot of people kind of watching out there, is that um, you can put two people side by side, give them the same things to do every single day, task them with the same types of things, which they do every single day, but but somebody's going to have a different result than the other. And the reality is that in life, it doesn't, I think people forget that they need to plug into the rhythm of life. It's kind of like um, everybody has a different, a different, a different path in life. They accomplish different things, but ultimately we all kind of, have the same types of journeys and the same types of experiences. And so, your experiences in life are different than mine. Your timing in life is different than mine, and that's the same for everybody. And so I think a lot of people tend to sort of give up on things that they want to do in life because they can't plug into the rhythm of life. They haven't figured out what it is that makes a difference. And ultimately, all you have to do is just get involved, make a commitment, trust that it's going to happen, and it will. And people just too many people give up way too soon on their dreams. And in fact, I wrote a blog post about this not too long ago, or actually I think I sent a letter out to my list too, about the idea that people have stopped dreaming. They've just kind of stopped really, sitting down and thinking for 5, 10, 15 minutes about what their dreams are, what they really want out of life. And that's kind of too bad. It's part of endemic in our society, is that people have kind of given up on dreaming, and I think that's the wrong way to think about things. I think people really need to connect with what's at their core, because what's in there is what's going to be the most successful. And uh,
Absolutely.
and I think you just have to commit to that, and make it happen. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I can totally agree because and you see it all the time, and it's like it may have something to do with the educational system. It may have something to do with the television and the media and everything. But you're basically told from day one, it's like go to school, get good grades, go to college, graduate, get a job, so that you can get and get a good career. But I mean, the stats are there to where I think the last time I checked, I think literally 7% of the people that actually graduate from college get a job in the position or in the field that they actually went to school for. Whereas which leaves like a huge 90+% of the people that shelled out all that money for a college education to basically get a degree, get out with who knows how much money invested in student loans and everything, and still basically go back to working for somebody else. And it's weird. And I'm not sure how actual factual this is, but I know that I had a mentor a while ago that told me that and he was just going back like before big box stores and before retail franchises and before everything else. I mean, like people, everybody kind of had their own business. You know what I mean? Like you had a trade. The country itself. I mean, the way the world operated, like you had a trade. You were a skilled blacksmith. You were a seamstress. You made clothes. You were a farmer. You were a rancher. You did this. You did that. And then and you had something to offer. And because of that, and once you kind of take away the skilled trade aspect of what you can actually offer, all you really do is just kind of plug in and then just get a job, whether it's manual labor, whether it's office work, whether it's clerical work, whether it's call center work or something. And unfortunately, most people are just kind of stuck in that kind of mindset to where it's like, I'm just going to go to school so that I can get a job. You know what I mean? And not necessarily get an education. Because there is a big difference. There's a big difference between going to school and educating yourself. Because I think, and the reason, I don't know, I'm a three-time college dropout myself. I mean, like every time I went to school, I think I went to school just to say I was doing something. You know what I mean? And it, yeah, I mean, because you're at that point where it's like, well, I'm kind of lost. I don't really know what I want to do, and what does everybody tell you? Well, you should go back to school, And every time I went back to school or went to school in general, it wasn't because I had this idea of like, this is what I'm, you know what I mean? There are certain people that are built like that. I'm going to be a doctor. They're 5 years old. They're in their doctor outfit, and like everything they do has something to do with that. And they're Doogie Howser MD, and they're graduating, and before you know it, they're in grad school. But most people don't have necessarily a clear vision of what they want to do. So the obvious path now that's been set by society is, go to school, get good grades, go to college, go to this, go to that, and then hopefully you can get a job. And I know the last time I went to school, and part of the whole thing, and part of the reason why I dropped out was because I was taking a business management class, and the guy that was teaching me had never actually run a business. And that was just a huge disconnect for me, because I had, I've always been, a weird, my dad's an entrepreneur. My dad's, he's always worked from home, and he was able to support three boys by himself, pretty much my entire life, just by working from home and running his own business. So like the job mentality for me was always a little bit of a screwball one, because once again, like I never held the job for more than 6 months. You know what I mean? Like I would always get fired or I'd quit, and I'd usually get the job because I needed some money, and then within the first couple weeks or the first couple months or something, like the thrill was gone. I was like, oh my god, I'm wasting my life here. And and that was just kind of it. Whereas like I was in the industry, I was working, I was meeting successful people, I was meeting successful entrepreneurs, and I was going to school, but I was being taught by people that had zero experience in the field that I was looking to get into. It was basically, I can read the book too. Why am I paying you thousands of dollars so that you can read the book to me and quiz me on this, but you have no actual, real experience to teach. And I think with that, it's like, especially, whether it's offline, whether it's brick and mortar, whether it's, online business, whether it's marketing, whether it's whatever, you have to kind of choose the right mentors and leaders and people to teach you that have actual success stories in life, in order for you to kind of like excel yourself and grow yourself as a person, to advance to where you need to be.
Well, and the other thing too is that it's not all about success too. It's about struggle, and so I think a lot of the value in learning from other people is the struggle that they've had and how they basically overcame those struggles to have success.
Good point.
And that's really the reality for a lot of people. I mean, there are truly people out there who have never had any failure or have not had a lot of challenges, but those people are rare. That's just not the way life is typically. There are always challenges in life, and people always have struggles. And the best stories are really the ones that rise out of some disaster or some kind of struggle or whatever it is, because that's what people resonate with, and that's just the reality. And so that's I think we've all gone through that. Whatever. I've had successes and failures. I made $9,800 a year. And basically we had kids at a very young age, right after we got married in our early 20s, and so we've had our share of struggles. We've had lots of challenges. We've had lots of successes. But that's life, and that's kind of the beauty of the business that we're in. And the other thing is that life has changed. Our not only our economy changed drastically in 2009, but our economy has changed drastically too. We've moved way away from kind of the the traditional, everybody pile into a whole bunch of cubicles type business. They're out there for sure. But
Hmm.
our economy changed drastically once the ability and the ubiquitousness of the internet became so forceful, because now we can do business anywhere in the world. We can, you and I are having this conversation across the internet. Our entire business infrastructure and structure changed drastically in the last 10 years. And so I think people need to understand that they need to adapt to that. They need to understand what that change looks like, and they need to really kind of plug into opportunities that sort of utilize those capabilities, because that's really where we're going. We're moving more and more and more and more a to a communications based economy, just like what we're doing here today. And so, I think a lot of people need to understand that, and they don't need to be afraid of it. The reality is the business you and I are involved in gives people the ability to really learn and understand that business without having to be, you know, bits and bytes or nuts and bolts type people to understand all of the details. They just have to be able to plug in with the right kinds of systems and opportunities so that they can build their own businesses. That's what I love about what we're doing today. Is you and I can basically develop a business online without a ton of resources. You have to be committed to it. You have to commit some resources, some monetary resources for advertising and other types of capabilities. But you don't have to build a huge business infrastructure to be able to have success. And we've got tons of people that are having just incredible success in the businesses that we're involved in, and it can happen for anybody. And so that's a lot of people I talk to. I'm trying to encourage people to get into this kind of business more and more, because this is kind of where we're going, and this is how you can have tremendous success if you just apply the right kinds of skills and capabilities and focus to make it happen. So that's it's kind of I find it fun. I mean, every day I wake up, I'm challenged, but I'm also psyched about the kinds of things that we're doing, because every single day is something new. It's incredible to me. It's like, wow, we just learned something new today. It's like you and I had a conversation last night about
Yeah, dude, mind blown still, and we're oh
yeah,
man, I can't wait to start working
like,
on
wow,
that.
where
Yeah,
did that come from? But that's the beauty of this business, is you can kind of you can decide to do all sorts of different things, and then you can plug in with other people that you can collaborate with and come up with new ideas that people haven't even thought of before.
yeah,
So that's what's beautiful about this. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about the stuff that we do every single day in this
I know.
business.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's great. It's challenging, and the I think the cool part about it is because I've never been a big tech person. I refused to get a smartphone up until like maybe a year and a half ago. I I just tried to shy away from all technology for a while, because the business that I was in was so straightforward. You know what I mean? It was very like, I don't even want to say like anti-technology, but it was still like, but the model itself was just very very old school, and technology was actually frowned upon until we kind of figured out like how to utilize certain aspects of technology, and basically once I got online, about a year and a half ago, like it took me a while to get the ball rolling and put the pieces together, but I don't know. I'm just, yeah, and I think a lot like you, and a lot like most entrepreneurs, it's like once you kind of just like dedicate yourself to plugging in and learning the way the whole system works, the way the game works, really, you realize the absolute power of it, and just there is no one way to do it. You know what I mean? If anything, there's like thousands of ways that
which is
can.
the beauty.
Yeah, it because it's not like, all right, this is exactly what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's more like, all right, this is the basic blueprint, and you can take this blueprint and apply it to anything, whether it's a brick and mortar business, whether it's a home business, whether it's a side business, whether it's a network marketing business or an MLM business, or even, let's just say like a like an Etsy thing or something, to where it's like I paint cool stuff, and I just want to get my name known out there. This can be applied to musicians and artists and writers and illustrators and therapists and people, and hell, man, general contractors and roofing companies. It's the way, because and with what you were saying, it's like the way the internet kind of just like changed the whole world. I mean, hell, 15, 20 years ago, and I know this, when you were selling telecommunications, you didn't have the instant access to information that you have today.
No,
Basically, people joined you and people signed up. Well, for one, obviously, because you had to know your product, you had to know your marketplace, you had to know what you were talking about. But there wasn't a way for them to just like, okay, cool, let me just check your research, let me just check your facts real quick. Like
right.
nowadays, people, I mean, hell, man, if I don't believe something, or if we, talking about that conversation we had last night, it was literally, it's like, hey, I got this great idea. I was like, all right, cool, let me just look it up real quick. Bing, bing, bing. 2 minutes later, I've got like, 20 pages of information on what we were talking about, and it was just
Exactly.
like boom, 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 mind blown, because the information's there. The information's there if you want it, and it's like, and there is no box. You know what I mean? There is, it's like you've got the blueprint, you've got whatever, but what you do with it and how you apply it is really up to you. And that's the thing. It's just like, and I think with any business venture, with any entrepreneurial thing, it really has a lot more to do with what you're willing to do, what you're willing to put into it, and that right there will get out so much more. Because basically the energy and the effort that you put into your business it really has a lot to do with what the final outcome, or just the continuous momentum of your business is going to be, more than anything. If you work an hour a day, you're going to get an hour a day worth of results. You know what I mean? Whereas like if you can put in a good, if you can treat your business like a real job, like most people have, where it's like, hey man, this is your shift, this is what you're going to be doing for the next 4 to potentially 6 to 8 hours, every day. Daily actions produce continuous momentum results in that.
Yeah,
So I don't
it's
know, man.
kind of interesting, and it's really a dichotomy because so the downside of the availability of information is that we kind of moved into an instant gratification environment. So we can be instantly gratified with the information we're searching for when we go out to the internet, and
Right.
that's sort of translated into achievement. So a lot of people have this mindset now that if they can't achieve something immediately, then they're going to move on to something else. And so that part hasn't really changed, and I think that that's where a lot of people kind of struggle, is that if they haven't achieved success at something in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, that they're just going to move on to something else. Well, they have that ability today. That's the kind of the beauty of our environment. But the risk is that, and I think the challenge is that people need to understand that it's not that, it doesn't work that way. It's still, you still gotta grind, you still gotta put in the work, you still gotta put in the hours, you still gotta have the commitment and the belief that you can go out and you can achieve anything. The beauty of it is that now, just like you said, we've got tons of resources available to us to be able to kind of support what we're trying to accomplish. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, holy cow, dude! It's like I think about it. So the internet didn't really. I mean, when I was in telecommunications before I started my company, the internet really was just kind of getting going at about 1992 or so. And those were in the days of AOL and kind of the early
Right.
parts of internet usage, and it was just clumsy stuff. But
Dial up.
before then, man, I mean, we still had to go to the library to
Yeah, yeah, you had to learn to use the Dewey Decimal System, and and plan a whole day or two around like going back and doing all the research with the old slides and the and reading the books and making photocopies at the library. And now you can now you can literally just like archive. You can go through the library's archives and find whatever you want. I mean, everything is online now, and that's the
yeah,
so
it's cool.
it's a great world. It's
Yeah,
a
and that's what, like I said, I get up every day going, man, oh man, this stuff is every day I get to do some cool stuff online, and so that's a lot of fun. So um, anyway, I guess the point is that um, you and I are entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur, and so my message to people is this: if you haven't been an entrepreneur, it's okay, because you can get involved in something and plug in with people like ourselves who can help you achieve the things that you want to accomplish in whatever you want to do. It's out there. It's you have the capability. You have the ability. I think people don't even give themselves enough credit for the abilities that they have. And so I just want people to understand that you can do this. I believe in people. I believe in the power of the human spirit and the ability for people to accomplish great things. And you just need to make a commitment. I made a commitment 20 years ago to start a business, and I had no blueprint. We didn't sit down. We didn't have a fancy business plan. We just kind of knew what we wanted to accomplish. We identified a need that customers had, and we just went out and basically we satisfied that. People are looking for those solutions every single day, and it manifests itself today in people want the ability to work from home, to be their own boss, to do the things that they want to accomplish, and spend time with their family, and go out and live the life that they want to live. And I'm telling you, it's out there. We are involved in a business today that give people that ability. All you have to do is plug in with us and commit and dedicate yourself to success. You can have this. You can do this. It's out there. It's out there everywhere. You just have to make a commitment to do it, and then you have to make a commitment that you're going to make it happen, that you will not give up 2 months away from a breakthrough, because truly, you don't know when it's going to happen, but when it happens, it's going to blow your socks off. And it's the most amazing thing that you can feel and have in your life. And so that's what I want for people in their lives. I want them to have the feeling that I've had and the success that I've had in my life, to be able to do that and accomplish that, and be able to experience all of the good things that come with that. So anyway, if you're out there listening, I just encourage you guys to get involved with us. We will help you. I want to help you. This is why I'm in this business. I want you guys to have that same feeling. So just join with us and get involved. It's the most amazing thing you can experience in your life. Believe me. So anyway, it's
So
been great.
John, just to kind of follow up on that, how would people get in touch with you? How would you want to? Is there a website,
So
or is there an email
yeah,
or
so
Facebook?
maybe the best way to do that is I have a blog site called dreams.winnersbeginhere.com. So I have a domain, winnersbeginhere.com, but the most up-to-date information is on my blog's location, which is dreams, just like dreams, dreams.winnersbeginhere.com. If you go out to that site, you'll see a lot of interesting information I'm putting out there, and also a way that you can kind of get involved in the businesses that we're involved in. So yeah, I encourage people to at least go out and check a lot of the information I'm putting out there. Even if you don't get involved in my business, hopefully we can provide you guys with some value, information on how to have success and achievement in your life. So
Absolutely. Well, cool, man. So once again, guys, that's dreams.winnersbeginhere.com. John Newton, man, I just want to say thanks a lot for jumping on with me today, bro. This has been an awesome interview.
yep.
Definitely a lot and it's weird, man. It's like I love listening to you talk because it's like you've got this great delivery, and just such a powerful message. And I think that right there just really has a lot to do with your overall success in life and just who you are as a person and your ability just to attract the right people into your life. And yeah, once again, guys, if you're watching this, if you watch this all the way through, which I hope you did, because there's so many valuable just golden nuggets of information that we share on these interviews. Contact if you're familiar with John and you're on John's team, connect with John, man. John's a great guy. He's a great leader. He's a great mentor. He's helped me out a whole lot, just in my business getting started, and just actually throughout just just brainstorming and kicking around ideas. And I know he's gone out of his way to just help people that were part of our team, but weren't necessarily even in our team. Just to kind of help them get started. And I know a lot of people owe him a lot of thanks to their own success. So yeah, I think we're gonna cut it off here, man. This is Sunday. I got some
Yeah.
things I gotta do. I gotta go to Home Depot and
Yeah. Well,
get some stuff
thanks
done
for
around the
having
house.
me in,
But
and great to talk to you. And yep, just get involved. You guys can do
okay,
it. So
right on, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching thatbloggingthing.com official interview with John Newton from dreams.winnersbeginhere.com and another co-founder of Team in the Black. And we'll see you guys on the flip side.
appreciate you guys. See ya.
Peace.